Hey, folks. I frequently talk about how the attribution data is not up to date and misses things, and you need to use it as like a guideline, a way to compare ads against each other, but not like a hard and fast, this ad um, is or is not making any money at all. There's more in-depth analysis to figure that out. But like at a glance, what can attribution tell us? And it's rather interesting. I talk a lot about how the data backfills and about how on a given day, the last 3 or 4 days worth of data may not be accurate and may not be up to date. And today I spotted something that I think is a fabulous way to highlight this. So here is an account where I've ordered by click-throughs. So number of click-throughs on these different ads. So I can just, see the active ads at the top. Oftentimes I'll order by KMP Red, but you'll notice that two of these ads, despite having many, many click-throughs, have no pages read. Well, that's a little concerning, not super concerning, because I just actually started those two ads on Friday, and I started them pretty high, like is at $100 a day that I'm spending on that one. So it's not surprising that it's up there. One of the things you'll see right away is that the DPV is weird on one of them, which is your details page views. Generally speaking, your DPV should be higher than your click-throughs because DP, some people are going to click book two. Some people are going to click some other book that you have. Some people are going to click the series page, and those all stand. Actually, I'm not 100% sure if the series page counts as a DPV or not, but they're going to click things. So usually you have a higher DPV, but this one particular ad has a lower DPV. Kind of odd. Anyway, if I click on these three campaigns, we're going to see something pretty interesting. So the first one has been running for a while, and I think the numbers largely add up. It was 25,000, so we've got nine, gives us what, 16, 16 7,000. It's about 25,000. It seems to be pretty accurate. These KMP red numbers are adding up roughly to the total. By the way, this ad we've been scaling it a bunch, so it is a little like none of these things are like quite up to snuff yet, but they're getting there, which is good. Anyway, but then there's this one. Well, wait, this particular ad showed nothing on page one. So this one actually is the second right here. Shows no pages read. But we clicked on it and we see pages read. What the heck? And this is a great example about how this data is not super accurate right out of the gate. And you can also sort of see here too, we got 1.5K pages read is our peak yesterday for the first campaign. And if we look at our peak yesterday here, it actually has 2.6. So the graph actually has the data from these other two campaigns, but the table does not. So, and this is very evident here on this particular ad, but not always available because you don't normally have $200 worth of ad spend that you started on 4 days earlier to see this glaring difference. Whereas in this case, we have that. And so I want you to think about that when you're looking at your data. Sometimes you need to drill down, because the more you drill down in attribution, the more accurate the data will be. And if you sort of just look at things at like a high level here, you're going to get some misleading information because you're going to see this big spike here and think, wow, well, these campaign 2 and 3 have no pages read, so all of this must be on campaign 1. But a bunch of this increase in reads and clicks is clearly from campaign 2 and 3, partially because I didn't increase spend on campaign 1. So the blue line should not have gone up. So just a really good object lesson in the fact that we don't get perfect data. We never get perfect data, at least not until 2 to 3, sometimes 4 or 5 weeks later. So you know, um, we can't make like super clear decisions. That's why analyzing ads never ends up being like, oh, if A, do B, if C, do D, because it's like, well, we need to dig deeper and see what might be going on, what the data actually suggests is happening. And of course, it is possible. I know you're like, well, that just seems impossible now. And that you're making this seem like it's this unsolvable problem. And what I'll tell you is that it cannot be solved, but you can get a high level of certainty about what's going on the more you understand the numbers. So just a fun little example of how fun little example of how Amazon hates us. No, I'm just kidding. Or am I? Of how the data is hard to process. I mean, to be honest, I don't actually envy Amazon's engineers that have to count pages read and then assign them correctly. Like the volume of data that they process is unimaginable. Actually, it's like national economy scale amount of data because they've got all these devices putting in all this information that has to get attributed to all the different places. It'd be like managing a bank with millions of transactions a day and 100 million members at the bank. Like it's a lot. Possibly billions of actually it would be in the billions of transactions a day. So anyway, those engineers are working their asses off, and they're human. So the data is not perfect. So there you have it. Have a great week. Bye.